Another thing about living for the glory of God and enjoying Him is that it's not a thing that only applies to particularly spiritual moments in life. You know, the really big things, the crisis moments, the things we do in church, the things I do in my quiet time. To live in a way that glorifies God, that becomes a reflection of God's worth to the world, has to include the 1,000 little things. And so, like Paul at the end of Romans, after he said so much about God and the work of God and the greatness of God, he says in chapter 16, now to Him. In other words, now, because of all that I've said, we get up, we walk out of the door, so to speak, of the classroom of theology, and we walk out into life, into the kitchen, into our bedroom, into the bathroom, into our garage. And whatever we have to do, now we do it to Him. We're not left with just kind of a sentimental idea of what that would look like, to meander around thinking, I don't know, I think that love to God would look like this, or I think God would like this. You can quickly kind of, get stuck in a swamp of sentimentalism where really you're just living the way you want to live and you're calling it love to Christ. But if we're going to glorify God, there is one other element. Seeing His worth, the heart is affected, all of life is devoted. But then we have the Scriptures. God has laid a path in His Word, the happiest life, the life that Christ lived. We see His footprints in every act of obedience in front of us. Of course, He never strayed, and we do. But we see His footprints in the commands of God, and from a heart that is satisfied and happy to belong to the King, from a life that has by faith embraced Christ, we embrace the whole Christ. That includes His rule. And we live, or we follow Christ in obeying the same things that He obeyed, for the same reasons, for love of God. The chief end, the ultimate goal of a man's life really is that God might be displayed as worth everything, and that we might find our delight in Him.